we're back with Stephen A. Smith. So what I'm told, now Stephen A. got into it like he was like, hey, I think that part of this investigation is what we're seeing political ramifications from the Trump administration. Kash Patel came at him, but that's because Stephen A. is so relevant that everybody wants to, he's like a big piece of government cheese right now. But what I want to hear, Stephen A., is how deep do you think the roots are in this? And do you think it spreads to other sports? Because that's what I'm hearing, is that this is not all of it. Well, this is just a little piece of it.
Well, athletes gamble, coaches gamble, some executives gamble, some owners may gamble. It's par for the course. And about 7 years ago, when the Supreme Court struck down a federal mandate prohibiting sports gaming, gaming in the world of sports, everybody's latched onto it, or at least an abundance of folks in sports league have latched onto it. The NBA itself is, as DraftKings and FanDuel as a sponsor, so we understand that. And when you look at it from that perspective, it's a very unfortunate story. I know all three guys. I'm friends with Chauncey Billups. I've known Damon Jones for years, and obviously Terry Rozier is a really good NBA player that's been around for a while, that's made over $150 million in his career. And so, to hear this news, it was kind of shocking. It wasn't shocking that folks were betting because, you're on the plane rides and stuff like that. You're playing cards all the time, dominoes all the time, stuff like that. That stuff's been going on for ages. But when you hear of something like this, and then you hear about the mob tied to it, and then of course, if you hear anything remotely associated with the integrity of the game being compromised, like, letting somebody know you're going to be coming out of a game and then they bet on it and the mob throw you $100,000 and stuff like that. So those are very, very serious allegations that the NBA is going to take very seriously, dating back to the Tim Donaghy situation with the official back in 2007, those six, if I remember correctly, and what he ultimately pled guilty to. And I was very fond of, and I knew the former Commissioner David Stern, God rest himself, his soul, very, very well. He didn't play that nonsense. He took over that. But in this case, it's the FBI. And the league, to some degree, is at the mercy of Kash Patel, the FBI director, and the FBI itself. Now, Kash Patel could act like I'm off my rocker and, all of this other stuff. He talked that nonsense all he wants to. I ain't got time to be getting into it with no FBI director. What I will tell you is that I said what I said. I meant what I meant. I'm not stuttering. I'm not saying in any way that the investigation is not on a legal standing, that it's illegitimate or anything like that. What I said was, for those looking for the president to spare them or to provide a helping hand of assistance, like he's prone to do from time to time for people he likes, don't expect that here. The protests, people not wanting to come to the White House, former star calling them, or no, not a former star, but a present star calling them a bum, this kind of stuff. Well, LeBron James called him a bum, stuff like that. The man is not going to forget. You and I doing this, more so you than me, of course. I'm not lying. You know how petty he can be. And if this inconveniences the league, who he believes have gravitated to a leftist ideology that serves to dog him at every chance. Listen, he doesn't have any problem inconveniencing them whatsoever. And that's exactly what he gave Kash Patel an okay to do, period.
Yep, I think you're spot on. Stephen A. Smith, I love you and I thank you. Thank you for being on the show. Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.